AgSource TV here, and I'm here with Lisa Richardson, the Executive Director of South Dakota Corn. Thanks, Lisa, for being with us today.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You know, you got a great event going on here on Ag Rules Day at the Sioux Empire Fair.
Oh, it is. It's an opportunity to tell all of Sioux Falls and all of South Dakota who's out today a little bit about agriculture and where it's from, what it's about, what it's used for, all of it.
You know, you don't want to get me close to that thing because you might run out of ear corn to eat. I'm kind of an ear corn pig.
Oh, well, you know, right now it's a perfect time. Sweet corn is just coming in. One of my board members, Mark Gross, dropped off a pickup load at our office, but it's sweet, it's good, and you know, Mother Nature and God has been plentiful. We will have a great crop of corn this year.
Well, that sounds good. I was just going to ask you how the corn crop's doing.
I drove across to Pierre the other day and took pictures West River, South Dakota. I think we will break all records for our corn crop in South Dakota.
You know, it's amazing out there, especially in West River, how green it still is. The rain has come just at the right time and the right amounts apparently in most of the places.
Oh man, compared last year to this year, we're going to double our crop. It's unbelievable.
You know, I drove up to Watertown last night, and of course that's always a pretty drive because of all the corn, but it's really maturing very nicely right now, it looks like.
You know, the only thing that will break it is if we have a real early frost. We were a little later getting in, but Mother Nature's been good. We haven't had super hot weather, which we need for pollination, but it looks beautiful. And we could, you know, South Dakota used to produce 200-300 million bushels of corn. We're going to be over 700 this year.
Holy smokes, and where does that put us in then nationally in rank?
We think we'll be number 5, which is huge. But in ethanol production, you know, you think about what do you do with that 700 million bushels of corn? Well, in South Dakota, we use about 350 million just for ethanol production, which makes over 1 billion gallons of ethanol that goes throughout the country.
That's amazing. Tell us a little bit about, you know, for somebody who's looking at this video right now and doesn't really know a lot about what South Dakota Corn does, why don't you let us know about what you do?
Sure. I'm the executive director, and I work for 2 groups. I work for the South Dakota Corn Growers, which is our membership and policy arm. So we work on farm bill issues. We do we compare crop varieties in a corn yield contest, but more importantly, it's a membership-driven base that it's really a grassroots organization that fights for farmers, rules, regulations, both in DC and in Pierre. Our checkoff arm, which we use for market development, research, and promotion education, that's when farmers sell a bushel of corn, we collect a penny and we use it for all of those things.
Well, you know, the way that the markets have been rising and, you know, the international economies are raising all the tides, it looks like a real good time to be in corn.
Yeah, it really is. There's a couple things that are driving all this. First of all, biotechnology. When I say, and I mean this, we didn't grow corn where we grow corn now because we have mapped the corn genome and we've spliced and diced it. So we have drought resistant corn. We're going to have nitrogen fixing corn. So we have 6, 8, we're going to have 10, 12, 14 stacks on top of each other, and this technology yields. And so marginal land now is coming into production, and that land is coming into production because the price is there, the opportunity with the technology that our technology providers are giving us, and the American spirit of the entrepreneurship of the American farmer. The second piece of this is we really have a 3-legged stool in corn. There's 3 major markets that we use. In South Dakota, our number 1 market is ethanol. Nationwide, our number 1 market is livestock feed. That includes hogs, cattle, poultry, dairy, the whole gamut. And then the third one is exports. So there's a real question, and I'm not looking at you know, predicting what area is going to, because we are going to grow more on the same acre of corn. Our yields are doing this because of technology transfer, and farmers are also. Management has changed. They're using precision ag, they're using satellite imagery, they're soil sampling and spoon feeding each one of those. So when they drive in the combine, if you guys, any of you get a chance to go and ride with a farmer that is mapping their fields, and you can see the GPS that drives that combine, the technology is unbelievable. But all of that is, we're going to grow more. So what are we going to do with it? Are we going to use it for more ethanol production? Are we going to export it to the world? I don't know. China is just coming into the marketplace, and I've had the opportunity to take a look at the Panama Canal. Okay, we couldn't get enough corn there. I mean, the difference is, I always say you can't call UPS and say I got 20 million metric ton of corn to go to China. We think China is going to come on as a relatively large buyer. They're building the ships currently. They just doubled the size of the Panama Canal to get these Cape ships through. So I think the world is getting ready. They're going to eat more protein, which is going to require more corn.
You know, it looks like in the central U.S. is probably the most unique geography and soil types and land for space-wise and all that stuff on the whole planet to grow corn.
You know, the U.S. is the #1 producer of corn in the world. #2 is China. We are #1, but it has to do with Mother Nature and our soils, but also technology transfer. Our farmers are the first to adapt new technology, and we have intellectual property rights. So Monsanto and Pioneer, even though we get frustrated with them sometime and pricing and all that, they really have invested billions to develop this corn that has potential to yield average 300 bushels an acre. We believe that will happen.
Well, that's stunning, and it better, because I was reading the other day we're going to have about 8.5 billion people in 2050 to feed.
Yeah, you know, there's always a balancing act, but understand the one thing, and competition in the world, everyone talks about the world is flat, we're a competitive market. Nobody in the world is better at production agriculture than the United States of America and the American farmer. So we will have that opportunity. We will continue to develop technology. Farmers will continue to adopt it, and I believe there will continue to be an incredible opportunity to feed and fuel this world.
Well, that gives me a lot of confidence, and thank goodness you're on the job here for us.
Thanks. Well, I appreciate the chance, Randy. And if anybody has any questions, you can go to our website, sdcorn.org, and on there it has all our contact information. Give us a call if you have a question about corn.
Well, I sure will. We'll be watching the markets, and every chance we get to get you up and let our viewers know what's going on, we'll be around.
Okay, great. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.